What's going on, guys? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and today we're going to back to basics. That thing I told you guys we'd be going back in and doing, and this is our trial fight. We're back to basicing the Octopus Teacher. We're fighting Tyhpon, and we're going to fight Orthros. We're going to fight them together, and we're going to do our best to beat him with our team here. We've made one replacement in our tank for Veritas of the Earth, and we'll talk about that why in a minute. That's very important. That 4-star beast of a guy. So let's look at the missions we have to take care of. Use Libra. Easy, 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 easy. Use a limit burst. Also very easy. Party of 5 or less could be tough for you depending on how far you along in the game you are, but you'll see with these units we're doing pretty well. And if you have to miss out on Toxic Rain, I have literally never used it. Like, most people use it in the arena, I guess, and maybe a 10-man trials coming up if you can find something to chain with it with, but other than that, like, it still seems kind of bad, so I'm not really worried about that too much. So let's move on to what friend we're taking. We're always going to be taking a Orlando in most cases because we are using Agris as our main damage dealer during the back to basics. Now, for bosses like the robot trial, the Marlboro trial, and then quite possibly, obviously, the Blood Moon trial, we can't be taking Agris because the Blood Moon is physical resist, but that's okay. So we're only talking about this. We have two types of monster here. We have Orthros, he's going to be an aquatic monster, and then we have Tyhpon, which is going to be a demon type monster. So I think Demon Killer is much more accessible anyway, and also I want to kill him as fast as possible before that anyway. So we're going to take, you want to make sure Orlando is a light chainer, has a light weapon on him only, and also if you get to find one with Diablos, you want that for that Demon Killer. Let's move on to our team, what exactly they're going to be doing. If we look over here at Veritas of the Earth, we'll go ahead and look at him. We have Orthros is going to be doing a move called Magnitude 8. That is a physical damage attack that does magic damage. It's weird. It's a physical attack that does magic damage. It's a really weird way they categorize this. So his cover is going to be excellent here. He's going to be able to jump in front and take all that damage. And speaking of which, Veritas of the Earth heals off Earth damage, all right? So that's going to be excellent for us. We're going to be good to go there. You can see I have random things equipped to him to give him as high as possible. The Genji shield probably isn't the best there, but that's what I had. You probably want that dragon shield or whatever shield to give you some elemental resist, because we are going to run into some fire damage, some wind damage, some water damage, and then even some lightning damage sometimes. The earth damage we don't have to worry about. So we'll look at his abilities here. Just threw a bunch of HP on him and things like that, and let him go to work. All right, moving on, we're going to use Soleil as our breaker, because we do need to break. We only need to break one thing on this when we're doing this fight this way. Now, Tyhpon cannot be broken at all. Orthros can be broken in the attack and spirit realm. We're not using magic damage. We don't care about spirit, but we do want his attack broken because he does hit kind of hard. So we're going to be using Soleil for that, and we can see that we just have her beefed out to be as tanky as possible. That's how you want your supports to be able to withstand the attacks if they get hit. Next up is our healer and Arya. That's the one we're going to be taking. You can see here we do have dual cast on her. She's going to be there for the healing. She's going to be there for the MP regeneration. She's also going to be there for her limit burst, which gets everybody up to 100%, and then gives us a little bit of water resist for that water damage we may be taking. And then we have our damage dealer here in Agris. My god, is Cloud's uniform good. If you guys got that, please throw that on her. It is amazing. You can see we have Genji Blade Excalibur equipped, and on the other side we do have Demon Killer, and I'm really lazy when it comes to doing the expedition, so I only have Adventurer 2. Put your highest adventure in there if you got it. So we're going to be moving on. The first part about this fight is really rough, so I may have to, if we can't recover, that's one thing, but Orthros will do some preemptive attacks. Now, if you want to put a shield in Veritas of Earth's arms that gives him some draw attacks innately, that could help you out. But at the same time, I just roll the dice and we'll see what happens. Our units should be able to live. We'll see how it works out here. We'll see what happens. Let's see. So enemy strikes first. He's going to do some auto attacks. So he's going to smack Agris around. Agris could even die. He just smacked Agris many times as he could. He was just like, Agris, get out of my face. But that's okay, because we can recover here using our Arya to bring her back to life. Next up, what we're going to go ahead and do is buff everybody's defense up. So we're going to go ahead and buff our defense up. Or that's a boost attack, excuse me. We're going to buff our defense up and break his attack. Soleil's good at doing that. Veritas of the Earth is going to go ahead and use his provoke. Where's the press the attack? Incinerating press, excuse me. Incinerating press the attack, not that. That's a League of Legends new mastery, that's why it's in my head. And then we can also go ahead, since we don't have really much anything else to do, we can use Crush Weapon on him to go ahead and make his attack break even further down. Now, doing something on the first turn kind of makes Orthros mad, but it's not that bad anymore with what we have. You can see that wasn't that bad. There was always this one turn thing where you didn't want to do damage to him on the first turn or break him, things like that. We don't worry about that anymore. It's not too bad. The one thing we are looking out for here is when we don't want to take him from above 70% to below 30% in one turn. If we do that, he will use this big cure move to cure himself up. It's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, it kind of sucks if you do get hit by it. and have to worry about that. But we're not, with this team, we're not going to have to worry about that too much. So we're going to go ahead and put our MP up on her. We're going to go ahead and cast the AoE Guardian, chance to cover physical damage from allies, because we are going to hit him past the threshold where he's going to be using that magnitude 8. Now Soleil can go ahead and put up our attack and magic on everybody, and then our Agrius and our Orlando is going to do what they're going to be doing pretty much the whole fight, and chaining up them Excaliburs and doing that light damage. So we'll see how much damage we do to him. We do get him down to 50%, causing magnitude 8 to happen, but you see, we cover it, and then he just heals. He heals off of it. That's how good Veritas of the Earth is for this fight. If you don't have Veritas of the Earth, remember there are other physical AoE covers, such as Warrior of Light. He's not going to tank it as well as Veritas of the Earth, but he's still very good and has a lot of good stuff going for him. So on this next turn, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cast, let's see what we should cast. We'll go ahead and use Agrius and Orlando first, see where we're at. Let me look at the mana too before we do anything. We want to cast Libra this turn. This is a good turn just to get that out of the way. Go ahead and cast Libra. That's one of the things we need to do. Looking at Orthros here, if you guys are doing this through the guide, he does have fire resist down, but fire damage will trigger some weird things going on. He will do some inky attacks or something if you use fire damage. He has lightning resist down. Do not use water damage, as you will get wrecked. He has 200% up on that. So we'll go ahead and chain here with our Divine Ruination Chainers. See if we get him down all the way to dead. He survives at 1%. That's pretty rough. But not the worst in the world. We'll go ahead and buff up our attack and our defensive spirit on everybody, and then we'll just have our Veritas of the Earth guard there and see what happens. I think now he's going to do his Orthos has transformed. After he gets so low, he'll put himself up. He'll cast Protect. He'll cast Magnitude 8 after a certain threshold. He'll haste himself where he does more damage per turn. But as you can see, it really just does nothing to us because we're against him with a team of, like, we're against him with Veritas of the Earth. It does the AoE, like, physical damage cover. Like, that, having a tank that could do that really changes the game. The next part is when it gets difficult, and we'll go over some of the mechanics that's going to happen to us. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world. What I'm going to go ahead and do with Agrius is I'm going to use Lance, and then with our boy, I might just auto attack here. Yeah, I'm just going to auto attack with everybody and use Lance. That way I give her some MP back. It wasn't that much, but it was a little bit, which is good. It gets us ready for this fight. Now, this is the start of the real fight right here, when we have to fight them both back. Somebody's dying. Just immediately, we're getting taken out by Tyhpon, and then they cast a move called Toxic Rain, and that's going to be cast quite a lot in this fight. It's going to poison us and then just dispel us completely. That really sucks. But we'll have Veritas of the Earth go ahead and put on his Guardian, which is really good. We'll have Arya go ahead and bring back. It kind of sucks Soleil was the one hit there, because if Soleil wasn't the one hit, she could be boosting up our defense and stuff. We'll use Miracle of Rebirth there. And then what we're going to go ahead and look at the team here. We're going to have to have a break go on to our boy up here. We don't want him hitting too much Orthros. We don't want him hitting too much damage there. So we're going to break his attack. So boom, bada bing, break his attack, crush weapon. And then what I'm going to have Agrius do is I'm just going to have her do a little bit of Kuraga for healing. This is one of those turns where you don't want to hit him on the first turn again. Remember how I talked about that? This is when we have to worry about it a lot. So we have Fireball being cast. It's going to do a lot of magic damage. And we just have some physical attacks going on. You do not want to trigger that first turn wreck you phase, so you don't want to hit Orthros at all here. Our strategy here, this is fine, but our strategy here is to take down Tyhpon first. Every 4 turns, Tyhpon is going to do a move where if you don't hit him with a wind elemental attack, he's going to blow somebody off the stage. It's like his nose starts itching. He either sneezes you off the stage, or he says his nose itches and he does an AoE wind attack. Okay, that's every 4 turns. Something I didn't point out earlier, which I should have, is I have survival edges on my Veritas of the Earth. That's going to be very important there. Also, right before he does that move, he says something and he buffs up his defense and spirit, I think, by 50%. That's going to be your time to shine. You can see here that I have, on Veritas of the Earth, I do have Odin on him. That is for the finger snap, so that I can hit with my wind element and also break off that defensive spirit just in case I can kill him. And we'll see how much damage we can do here. We're not going to be able to buff up our spirit, our attack and stuff like that yet. We're going to have to put up our defense because Soleil did die on the first turn. Looking over everybody, they need a little bit of healing, so we're going to go ahead and use our Limit Burst, restore everybody by 100%, and give us some nice water resist, which we're going to need because there is some water attacks going on. We're going to go ahead and get our press the attack on. Incinerating press, excuse me. I keep calling it press the attack. I need to stop playing as much League as I do. And then we're just going to go ahead and chain up. Now, remember, we do have Demon Killer stacked up, so we should be doing a lot of damage to Tyhpon. We don't have to worry about killing him off too fast. We just want to kill him the fastest we can, actually, so we don't have to worry about it. All right, so Tyhpon got mad and took down our Veritas of the Earth with one of his big swing attacks. Remember, that happened on the first turn. That can trigger and kill off somebody. Not the biggest deal in the world, again, because it really is minimal damage besides that. We're going to go ahead and use Miracle of Rebirth on our Veritas of the Earth there. Bring him back to life. Full health. Arya is amazing. I love her. And then I think this turn, because we can buff up our attack and magic, And then we can also already have the Light and Peril added onto Tyhpon. He's going to go down. What does this mean for our team? Well, what's going to happen is our boy up here, Orthros, is going to be mad that his friend is dead, and he's going to cast Magnitude 8. But before he does that, he's going to cast Acid Rain. So we are just going to be taking a lot of damage here. It's just going to happen. The scary part about this is I see the Agrius and our Orlando is kind of low. I'm going to risk it here. You guys don't have to. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. This is a turn maybe where you can heal and defend. We're not too pressed for time, but, you know, why not? We're going back to basics. People do this stuff all the time. We might not even kill him here. Okay, he's dead. Never mind. He died pretty fast. So now you can see he's going to cast the Acid Rain and then Magnitude 8. It's going to do a lot of earth damage to us. And then, But this is a turn. This is mostly a recovery turn here. As long as your Arya and the Veritas the Earth don't die, which he keeps hitting. Man, that guy hits a lot. As long as they both don't die, I think you're in a good spot. And now we have Soleil living too. I think a turn there, what you guys could have done is maybe take it a little easy. We weren't on the 4th turn where his nose starts itching. And even then, the damage is minimal because we're going to finger snap him with our boy Veritas of the Earth anyway. But if you got to that point where it says like, oh, he inhales deeply. I think he's like, and he's about to sneeze. Make sure you're doing some, make sure you dispel off that Spirit and Defense buff of 50% if you want to try to kill him that turn. If not, make sure you're doing some wind damage so that he just does that 2 times magic wind damage to you and doesn't do anything. So on this turn, we need to be making sure that our team is back in business here. So we're going to use the double raise on everybody, get them all back up. We're going to go ahead and use Soleil to put up our defense and Spirit because, you know, those guys died and they lost their buffs, so we want that back one. Plus, we got Acid Rain cast on it, so nobody had any buffs anyway. And then we're going to go ahead and cast chance of taking physical damage for an ally AoE because Orthros is mostly going to do physical damage, and we want to make sure we can cover that, you know, Magnitude 8 down the road. So you can see here he's covering everybody. This is a recovery turn. We feel safe. We feel good. The one thing we want to make sure we are aware of is that Orthros always has his attack broken because he does hit kind of hard. Like I know I was saying in the beginning, like, you know, we've gotten stronger and things like that, but he can hit really hard. It can be a big deal. So as we're breaking him down, Orthros has different things he can do. Like every so many turns, he's going to do that water attack. Another thing he can do is he does Magnitude 8 at certain thresholds, and then he'll do that thing where he buffs himself, gives himself haste, buffs his defense, you know, and everything up like that. And then we'll just dispel him when that time comes. So since we have that up, he also casts his Acid Rain every once in a while too. So we got to be aware of that. So we're going to go ahead and do Incinerating Press, not press the attack like I was saying before, so we can get that out of the way. We're going to go ahead and buff up our attack and magic here. We're going to chain first. That way I can see if we can get our Limit Burst, because our Limit Burst with Arya would be super sweet here. Because, come on, give her some Limit Burst crystals. Wow, did I not generate any? How does that not generate any Limit Burst crystals? I feel like that's bad. We could have used a Limit Burst there, which would have been super sweet to go ahead and, what was I trying to say? To go ahead and give us our water resist, because we may have that happen to us. But I'm going to go ahead and use the Esper here. Give us some good healing here. That's a good thing about Arya. You can put Lakshmi on her, have some healing through that, get us up to 100%, and we can also use her Limit Burst to do so. So Magnitude 8 is cast. Because we have the physical cover, it does absolutely nothing, and we're good to go. Again, if you're using Warrior of Light or another cover person like that, they're going to take some damage, and aren't just going to heal off of it like we just saw. So next up, we're going to go ahead and cast Guardian again. We want to make sure that stays up. We need to put up our defense and Spirit, and we're going to be reducing the attack there because we don't want to be worrying about that too much. One thing we're running into here is Agrius is running out of mana. She needs some mana. I look on the team. Nobody else is hurt. We can throw a Turbo Ether on, or we can use an Elixir or any type of mana, like a Mega Ether or something like that, to give her some mana back. Remember, using items is allowed in this. It's good to go. So we'll go ahead and use that on Agrius there. Give her all of her mana back. One of the things I could have done there, since we were at 45 MP, is use Divine Ruination first, and then use the Elixir, but we're fine. It's okay. I think we'll be good on this, and then we'll go ahead and have Gus go ahead and use his Divine Ruination, and we'll chain it up. And we'll see how much damage we do. We get him down to a good 34%, and then Magnitude 8 is cast. He's casting Protect, Shell, and then he's like, you know, hasting up and getting ready to go back in. So what I'm going to do now is you have a choice here. You can either, because his attack is broken, because his Imperil is on, you could choose between breaking him and finger snapping him, or going ahead and leaving it on there and hoping your, you know, your Imperil being on and the attack break is good enough. I'm going to finger snap him and get it off of him. I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to get rid of that right now. What I'm going to have Soleil do is go ahead and buff up our, we're going to buff up our attack and magic, because that's what we got to do this turn. And then, let's see, we'll go ahead and have Agrius and Orlando do their Divine Ruination training. We'll see where he's at. Another thing I could have tried there is Bahamut. I have Bahamut on Soleil. Maybe Bahamut finish these chainers here, but we'll see how much damage we can get off here and see if we can get out of here with a win. We can't. We're at 8% right now. That's kind of scary. Does anybody really need healed? Soleil is a little low, and we could get some water damage here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to put the water resist up, just in case he decides he's going to be casting his water attack now. Let's see what he does this turn. So Magnitude 8 is cast. We love when he does that because we hit a threshold and nothing, absolutely nothing happens. Again, there are some times when he'll go nuts, start auto-attacking, but if you hit these thresholds, he's forced to use Magnitude 8 because that's how it works. And your Veritas just laughs at him. So we're going to go ahead and cast Double Divine Ruination. We're going to get out of here, guys, with a victory. Let's make sure we'll go to menu, make sure we did all the victories here. We use Libra. We've used the Limit Burst, and it's a team of 5 or less. Boom, boom. Knock them out the park. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We are good to go, and that's it, guys. The Octopus trial used to be a big deal. We had, back in the day, we were trying to do it with 4-star bases, minimal TMs. We did have to Cetra cheese it a bit. But now, I mean, the way it is with Agrius being able to chain with one of the biggest damage dealers in the game in Orlando, as long as she's enhanced twice, makes the damage not that bad. And we have somebody like Veritas of the Earth that can go in there and just take those Magnitude 8s as it is. We don't have to worry about putting up our, Earth defense or somebody else covering it for us or anything like that. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've taken down the Octopus trial and Octopus Teacher trial. And if you're happy I released this video, how you guys are liking this video. And then subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys in the next video.